Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amarachi. I'm a grad student in the US, and on this channel I share useful tips about moving to the US as well as documenting my grad school journey. So if this is something you're interested in, please consider subscribing. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some tips for writing your statement of purpose. So if you're applying to grad school, you need to write an essay called your statement of purpose. This is where the admissions committee gets to know you, where you're coming from, what your goals are, etc. I have a different video that goes over the structure of your SOP. It details what each part of it should contain. I will link that video in the description box, so please check it out after watching this one. The very first tip that I would give here is you need to have a captivating opening sentence or paragraph. Think of it like a hook that captures the reader's attention. People on the admissions committee read hundreds and hundreds of essays. You don't want to sound like every other person. You really have to capture their attention and make them want more, make them want to know more about you and more about your story. The second tip is sell yourself, but don't lie. You don't want to include things that you haven't done. You don't want to include skills that you don't have, but you also need to sell yourself because grad programs are typically very competitive and everyone is like putting their best foot forward. So be sure that you're doing the same thing as well. The third tip would be to contextualize things. Use numbers. So for example, if you're applying to like a law program and you've worked in a law firm in your country, you could say like, I've worked at John and John Company, the foremost like litigation firm in insert your home country, things like that. Or if you've worked in a bank, you could say like, I've worked in XYZ bank, the largest investment bank in my country. Or if you've worked for like an international company that has a branch in your country, talk about that as well. Like, I've worked in XYZ company, the largest like oil company in the world or whatever. So contextualized things. You should also use numbers. So if maybe you're in the public health field and you, carried out maybe a mass vaccination exercise, don't just say, oh, I vaccinated many people. What is many? What contextualize things. Like, you could say like, oh, I vaccinated 100 people, or I vaccinated like 50% of the population, or this thing that I did, it led to results like maybe an increase in profit by like 50%, or 100% reduction in losses, or use numbers to really drive your message home and to contextualize things. The fourth tip is use simple words. Now, a good essay is not one that is filled with big words. Use simple words. I have a very simple writing tip. I tell myself, if I wouldn't say something during my speech, then I just wouldn't write it. So if you wouldn't structure a sentence with like all these synonyms they just sound bigger, more sophisticated, then probably don't use it in your writing. Just write in very simple words. The fifth tip is don't be generic. Personalize your essay. Make it yours. Don't say things like, oh, I want to go into nursing because I like helping people. That's so generic. Many people like helping people, so please personalize your essay. The sixth tip is research. Research your school, research the department, research professors and members of faculty who work there. Do your homework. In addition to doing your homework, when writing, please name drop. So mention some professors whose work like inspire you, or professors who you would be interested in working with. Very important. Do your research. The seventh tip is your essay must be 100% free of grammatical errors. Not one, not half. There should be 0 grammatical errors in your essay, 0 typos. Please use proper punctuation as well. The 8th tip going off of this is edit, and edit again. Now do it by yourself. If you feel like your editing skills are good, have your essay reviewed by somebody else. make some edits as well. Pay to have somebody review your essay and edit it if you have to, because the last thing that you want is that one small mistake, that one small thing that, you know, just makes your essay bad in the eyes of the admission committee. So please make sure your essay gets reviewed and it's edited professionally if you can afford it. The ninth tip is justify your text. So what this means is when you go into your like Word software, whichever one it is, Microsoft Word, I think the default setting is to write in a way where your text is aligned to the left. If you're from like English speaking countries, your text usually would be aligned to the left. What this means is that the left side of your essay would be like in a straight line, but the right side, like sentences end at different points, so it's kind of jagged. To justifying means like having both sides like on a straight line. It's just a tab that you click, but just make sure your essay is justified. It just looks nicer, it looks more polished, it looks more professional, so make sure you do this. The 10th tip is make sure that your essay is no longer than 2 pages. I don't see what anybody would be saying in an SOP that is very relevant to the program they're applying to that will make it run longer than 2 pages. If anything, I feel like if your essay is longer than 2 pages, it just shows that you cannot communicate effectively. You can't say everything that you need to say in like concise sentences. So make sure your essay is no longer than 2 pages. And 2 pages can be, again, contextual, right? Because it's 2 pages in what size, 2 pages in like all of this. So I'm saying 2 pages using Times New Roman or Georgia font, size 11 or 12, single spacing, no longer than 2 pages, please. The 11th tip is after writing your essay, after having it edited, you're sure that everything is good, it's perfect, it's great, you know, it's good to go. Please save this file as a PDF and submit or like upload the PDF version of it. Do not upload the Word version. Always upload PDF versions, actually, of any files, like your not just your SOP, but even more importantly, your CV, because the version of Word that you format your file in, so your CV or your SOP could be a different version from what is used to open it. So you might think that something is properly formatted, you know, it looks good on your end. When it gets out on the other end, everything is like scattered. But if it's in PDF, it just stays the same way. Like PDF is viewed the same way regardless of what software is used to open it. So please make sure that all your documents that you need to send are in PDF form. The 12th tip is don't beat yourself up if the first time you try to write your SOP is just not great. It's normal. Just have it at the back of your mind that your first essay is probably not going to be the best. It's not going to be what you eventually upload or submit. That's why you need to give yourself ample time to write whatever you have in mind the first time, make iterations of those, you know, have them reviewed, and like write again and again if you need to. And one last bonus tip is you don't have to start writing your essay from the top to the bottom. So you don't need to start writing from what would eventually be your first paragraph. Just start from whatever part you feel is the easiest for you. If you don't know what I mean by parts, I have a different video that breaks this down. I'll link it here in the description box as well. So start from whatever part is the easiest, like whatever part comes naturally to you, whatever part flows the most for you. Start from there, you know, just start writing, and eventually you could go back and like write the beginning or write whatever other portions are missing. You do this just, you know, to get in the flow of writing. Usually it's easier to just start with where you're comfortable with and then go to the others. And that's it for today's video. If you liked it, if you found any value in it, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, and leave a comment. These things are very important because it helps me and the YouTube algorithm. It helps the YouTube algorithm know that, okay, this is a useful video, it's very valuable, and they push it out to other people as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.